A Lakers insider just dropped a massive update on the LeBron James trade rumors, and what's unfolding behind the scenes might completely change the future of the NBA. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Let's rewind for a second. This offseason started quietly for the Los Angeles Lakers. Fans were hopeful, waiting for big moves, something to prove that the franchise was still serious about competing for a title. But instead, they got silence. No major signings. No blockbuster trades. Just uncertainty. Then, the rumors started. LeBron James, a 21-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, and future Hall of Famer, started popping up in trade talks. At first, it sounded crazy. Why would the Lakers move on from LeBron? But as details began to emerge, a different story started to form. LeBron opted into his $52.6 million player option for the 2025-26 season, locking in one of the biggest salaries in the league. He made one thing very clear: he still wants to win. He's not coasting to retirement. He wants that fifth ring, the one that would match the number of titles held by Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, and Kobe Bryant. But here's the twist: the Lakers? They're not acting like a team chasing a championship. In fact, team insiders and recent front office statements suggest something shocking. The Lakers aren't prioritizing a title this season. They're focused on development, long-term roster flexibility, and building for the future, not making an all-in push. So naturally, people started asking, is LeBron in the wrong place at the wrong time? And then came Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks are being whispered about behind closed doors as a team that could give LeBron exactly what he wants: a real shot at another championship. Think about this. LeBron reunited with Anthony Davis, who's now with the Mavericks, his 2020 championship teammate and now Olympic gold medal co-winner from the 2024 Paris Games. Add in Cooper Flagg, the 2025 #1 overall draft pick, who's already being called a future face of the league. That trio, LeBron, Davis, and Flagg, could become the next dominant force in the NBA. For a moment, it seemed like the stars were aligning. The narrative was perfect. LeBron rides off into the sunset with one final title, mentoring a rising superstar, all while wearing Mavericks blue. But then, reality hit. According to reports from The Athletic, Dallas is not actively pursuing a trade for LeBron James. Not because they don't believe in his talent, they absolutely do, but because of the cost. LeBron's $52 million salary makes him one of the most expensive players in the NBA. And for the Mavericks to acquire him, they'd need to part ways with key pieces of their current roster, pieces that help them become a real contender. The front office reportedly doesn't want to sacrifice that balance, even for a legend like LeBron. It's a harsh truth in today's NBA. Sometimes the money just doesn't work. And yet, there's something else lurking in the background. Don't forget, the Lakers and Mavericks have done business before. Earlier this year, they pulled off one of the most shocking trades in recent memory. The Lakers sent Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick to Dallas. And in return, they got 5-time All-Star Luka Doncic. Yes, Luka Doncic is now a Laker. That deal alone shifted the power dynamic in the Western Conference. And now, sources say the Lakers are fully focused on building around Doncic, not around LeBron. It's a generational transition, from one era to the next, happening in real time. So where does that leave LeBron? He's not being pushed out. But he's also not at the center of the Lakers' plans anymore. And that's fueling speculation that this upcoming season might be his final run. One last year to chase greatness, to leave it all on the court, and to write the final chapter of one of the greatest careers in sports history. LeBron is now 40 years old. He's still performing at a high level, but the clock is ticking. Every game matters. Every decision counts. Some insiders believe he could still force a trade before the deadline if the Lakers stumble early. Others think he might retire if things fall apart. And a few say, don't count out one more surprise. Maybe not Dallas. Maybe not now. But somewhere, out there, could be the team that gives LeBron that last, golden chance. Either way, one thing is certain. LeBron James is standing at a crossroads. A 23-year NBA career. Records shattered. Titles won. Legends defeated. But still, unfinished business. He's chasing that fifth ring. Chasing legacy. Chasing closure. and the whole world is watching to see what he does next. Breaking news, a massive rumor is shaking up the NBA. Luka Doncic reportedly wants to play with Nikola Jokic. And if this turns out to be true, it could completely change the future of both the Lakers and the Nuggets. Let's break it down. Luka Doncic, the superstar guard from Slovenia, the man who took over the league at just 19 years old, might already be questioning his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, that's right. After being traded to LA and becoming the new face of the franchise, Doncic could already be thinking about his next move. And it all comes down to one name, Nikola Jokic. According to a Western Conference executive, Luka has a strong desire to play alongside the four-time MVP. And that desire might soon turn into action, especially if the Lakers fall short this season. In a recent interview with Clutch Point's reporter Brett Siegel, the executive warned, "The Lakers need to be careful. Luka Doncic just lost to a team he beat easily in 2024. Now they're telling him to wait another year before really competing? If Denver wins the championship or even gets close, they could become a serious threat to take him away from LA. That's not just speculation. That's a warning shot. Because Luka didn't come to LA to rebuild. He came to win. Immediately. But here's the problem. The Lakers don't seem to be on the same timeline. According to multiple reports, the front office isn't planning to spend big until 2027. That's right, 2 full seasons from now. Only then do they expect to have the cap space and market flexibility to pursue elite talent. Names like Donovan Mitchell, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Karl-Anthony Towns are expected to be available. But until then, it's all about patience. And patience isn't exactly Luka's thing. Let's not forget, he's 25 years old. He's already put up MVP-caliber numbers season after season. He's not a rookie waiting his turn. He's a proven star in the prime of his career. And if the Lakers ask him to wait 2 years before having a real shot at a title, that might be a deal-breaker. So what happens if Luka loses faith? Well, he has options. His current contract runs through the end of this season, and he holds a player option for 2026 to 27. That means if he's not sold on the direction of the Lakers, he can decline that option and become a free agent in 2026. And that's where things get even more interesting. Because the Denver Nuggets, with Nikola Jokic already in place, would be a dream destination. The chemistry, the European connection, the basketball IQ, the unselfishness. It would be a match made in NBA heaven. And believe it or not, Jokic has already hinted at wanting to play with Doncic. Back in 2024, when Luka was still in Dallas, Jokic was asked about the idea of teaming up with him. He smiled and said, "I really like this franchise, so I don't want to leave. But if Luka gets tired of Dallas, he can come here." He laughed when he said it, but it didn't sound like a joke. Now, fast forward to today. Luka isn't in Dallas anymore. He's a Laker, but for how long? Adding fuel to the fire, ESPN's Bobby Marks recently revealed that Luka is eligible to sign a contract extension with the Lakers starting August 2nd. The deal? Worth up to $228.6 million over 4 years. A monster payday. But here's the twist. Luka has reportedly decided to delay the extension. No signature. No long-term commitment. And according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, this decision has only increased the chatter behind the scenes. Why would a player turn down nearly $230 million unless he's not sure about staying? And here's one more thing to consider. Jokic hasn't signed an extension either. That's right. The Nuggets superstar, widely considered the best player in the world, has also left his future open. No extension. No rush. It's like both of them are waiting. Watching. Maybe even planning. Meanwhile, Luka continues to shine on the court. In his first stretch with the Lakers, he's been incredible. 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, 7.5 assists per game, and he's hitting nearly 38% from 3. He's doing his part. But the roster around him? Not enough. Not yet. And if the Lakers can't prove to Luka that they're serious about building a true contender, soon, the risk of losing him becomes very, very real. Imagine this for a second. Free agency. Luka Doncic joins the Denver Nuggets. Luka and Jokic, 2 European superstars, in one of the most unselfish, brilliant offensive systems the NBA has ever seen. It could be historic. It could be unstoppable. But for now, it's still just a rumor. Still, this rumor is louder than ever. And as the Lakers walk a tightrope this season, every loss matters. Every front office decision counts. Because if Luka decides he's not willing to wait, the NBA could be in for another massive shakeup. And the Denver Nuggets? They just might be waiting with open arms. Big news coming out of Los Angeles regarding Andrew Wiggins and the Lakers, and it's stirring up plenty of questions about the team's plans to shore up their perimeter defense. If you've been following the Lakers this offseason, you know they've been searching high and low for players who can help improve one of their biggest weaknesses: defense on the wings. It's been a persistent problem that's held them back from making a serious run at the championship. Now, the Lakers did make a splash by signing DeAndre Ayton to fix the center position, a move that should help solidify their interior defense and rebounding. But outside of that, their offseason hasn't been as productive as many fans hoped, especially on the perimeter. In fact, they lost one of their best perimeter defenders, Dorian Finney-Smith, who was traded away. That left a big hole on the wing and raised the question: how will the Lakers fill that gap? Enter Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins has been a name popping up in rumors as someone the Lakers were interested in acquiring. His defensive ability on the perimeter is well known. Over the years, no matter which team he's played for, Wiggins has consistently been a reliable defender, especially on the wing. That's exactly what the Lakers need to pair with their stars and shore up their backcourt defense. However, recent updates suggest that the Lakers are no longer pursuing Wiggins aggressively. In fact, Dan Woik from The Athletic made it clear during a recent appearance on the Zach Lowe show that the Lakers have cooled off on Wiggins and aren't currently in the mix to bring him in before the season starts. Why the sudden change? Well, it's complicated. Part of it has to do with Miami, one of the teams Wiggins played for last season after being traded mid-season from the Golden State Warriors. The Heat reportedly want to keep him around for the upcoming season, which complicates any potential trade discussions. The Lakers would need to put together a package that Miami finds acceptable, and that's no easy task. Miami is clearly valuing Wiggins' defensive contributions and is reluctant to give him up without a strong return. That's one major hurdle for LA. Despite this, the Lakers' front office hasn't given up on the idea of adding perimeter defense. LeBron James, in particular, has been vocal about wanting the team to do whatever it takes to build a championship-caliber roster this season. His leadership and urgency are pushing the Lakers management to keep exploring trade options, which is why rumors involving LeBron and potential trades continue to swirl. Wiggins, for his part, would have been a natural fit to address these defensive needs. Even though his scoring can be inconsistent from game to game, his defensive effort and ability to lock down opponents is a consistent asset wherever he plays. The Lakers, however, face a tough reality. With the free agent market drying up and limited impact players still available, the team might have to wait until the trade deadline to make a move on improving the perimeter defense. That gives the current roster a chance to gel and prove if they can rise to the occasion without additional help. But waiting comes with risks. Making a trade, especially one that involves a player like Wiggins, could require the Lakers to give up valuable assets they may be hesitant to lose right now. So patience might be the smartest play in the short term, but the pressure to improve keeps mounting. Looking at Wiggins' numbers last season, split between Miami and Golden State, he averaged solid production, 18 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. His shooting was efficient too, knocking down 44.8% from the field and 37.4% from beyond the arc. These stats reinforce that Wiggins is still a capable contributor on both ends of the court. So, where does that leave the Lakers? For now, they're staying patient, monitoring the situation closely, and keeping their options open. But the window for upgrading this roster is closing fast. Fans and analysts alike are watching closely to see if the Lakers can make a significant move before the season tips off, or if they'll have to wait until mid-season to try to patch up their defensive issues. One thing's clear: Andrew Wiggins no longer seems to be a guaranteed part of the Lakers' plan, at least, not in the immediate future. The question remains: can Los Angeles find the right mix of players to complement their stars, shore up their defense, and mount a legitimate championship run this year? Only time will tell.